Recording again, and let's see. I don't know why. It's so confusing, the way I have to share. There. Okay. Are you seeing it? Bankruptcy. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So we have been already dealing with this, the differences between bankruptcy and insolvency. So bankruptcy is a legal process, and insolvency is a state where you cannot pay your debts. But sometimes bankruptcy is the other way around. Insolvency is the proceedings, and bankruptcy is the state in which you cannot pay your debts. I think that it depends on whether it is British law and United States law, American law. I would like you to take notes of this new or particular words. For instance, debt restructuring. Another one, financial distress. The rehabilitation and continuation of business. To permit. Thomas, is it permit or to permit? Tell me. Permit, I think that permit is a noun.
Permit is a noun. To permit is a verb.
Okay, so as to permit the rehabilitation. So it says the principal focus of modern insolvency legislation and business debt restructuring practices no longer rests on the elimination of insolvent entities, but on the remodeling of the financial and organizational structure of debtor experiencing financial distress, so as to permit the rehabilitation and continuation of the business. So, the thing of fraud, we have not dealt with this part. Maria, would you like to read fraud?
Yes. Bankruptcy fraud is a white-collar crime. While difficult to generalize across jurisdictions, common criminal acts under bankruptcy statutes typically involve concealment of assets, concealment of or destruction. I'm sorry, I can see because you have a mark.
Yes, sorry.
No, I have a mark. Concealment or destruction of documents, conflicts of interest, fraudulent claims, false statements or declarations, and fee fixing or redistribution arrangements. Falsification and bankruptcy forms often constitute perjury. Multiple filings are not in and of themselves criminal, but they might violate provisions of bankruptcy law.
Okay, so there you have multiple filings. That is present sometimes in our system when they file many different claims as regards the same situation in order to shop jurisdiction, for instance, to shop for a judge that they want. They don't want this judge, they want this other judge. So they file many claims, and with one claim, they are in the court they want. That would be multiple filings.
Something like
what, Andrea?
Something like petitions or not?
No, I think that multiple filings refers to the idea of filing different claims, different lawsuits.
Okay.
In order to, the term is to shop jurisdiction, to shop the judge that you want. You don't want, for instance, Civil 1, Civil 1.
Yes.
You want Civil 2, and you file many claims. And with one of them, you are in the court that you want. For them, for these people, for these type of systems, they consider it to be a fraud, a type of fraud. Well, one type of fraud. Another type of fraud would be, for instance, fraudulent claims, false statements, fee fixing. That's another one. Because I want to highlight the new, the new vocabulary, fee fixing, concealment of assets. Well, that occurs here too. In a case of bankruptcy, they conceal. What is to conceal assets? What do you think? To conceal assets. What do you say? Tell me.
No sé qué
Okay.
significa.
To conceal is to hide. You know? To hide.
Hide.
To hide.
Yes.
Conceal is not properly a legal English word. It's a difficult word. Difficult English word, to conceal. But it is used, as always, as it is difficult, it is used in legal English to conceal documents and to conceal assets. And in bankruptcy, to conceal an asset means to try to get this asset out of the bankruptcy bunch, or the bunch that is going to be sold in the bankruptcy proceedings. So even in Argentina, that's a criminal act to conceal one asset. Yes. Well, to try that this asset is not being subject to auction. Well, that's concealment. Another type of theory. The words insolvency and bankruptcy, and this word, I love this. In common parlance, what would be common parlance? Common parlance. What do you say? Anything? Griselda,
the normal
you are so
people
mute.
who are not
muted.
yes, because
Tell
my
us.
doctor is not my doctor. My doctor is having an exam, an English exam too.
Okay, sorry.
I
common
think
parlance
it's
is
the common persons.
no. I think that
Es
common parlance
la
is
vulgar, me parece, el lenguaje
Claro.
exactly. El sentido común.
Ordinary.
El sentido común. So write down the expression common parlance. Well, they say in common parlance, they generally say that they are interchangeable. Yes, the two expressions, insolvency and bankruptcy. But the thing is that they are not interchangeable. The term insolvency is the state of one whose assets are insufficient to pay his debts. But the word bankruptcy is the condition of insolvency. I don't know. Apparently, for them, they are not the same, and it depends on the British system and the American system. But mind that they are not the same. Another thing, yes.
Maybe
Tell me.
it is like concurso preventivo and quiebra.
Yes, I think that the difference between concurso preventivo and quiebra is the difference between liquidation and bankruptcy. In the case of liquidation, is quiebra. And in the case of bankruptcy, they come into the receiver, they administrate the company, they're in administration. That would be concurso preventivo. Well, the thing is that it is repeated. So liquidator, receiver, and administrator. Liquidators are voluntary administrators. The two of them are people who are given powers to resolve financial problems in companies where debts are not paid. Bankruptcy trustees, that's another term, trustees have the same power over individuals where debts are not paid. A receiver works for a secure creditor, So receivers are not for any kind of credits. They are only for a type of creditor, the secured creditor. Who is a secure creditor? In which case is a secure creditor? What do you think?
You have a charge to, I don't know how to say it. We
To
saw it.
secure the debt.
Yes,
Secure
we
the
saw
credit.
it just
Yes.
before.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
And the charge is related to a field, a house, or perhaps
Yes.
a car or any type of value assets. That's a
Yes.
secure
Like a
creditor
warranty.
when they have a fixed charge.
How
So
do you
that's the
say
receiver.
fianza?
Lien,
Personal.
maybe a solidary debtor, that would be. Well,
Okay.
the administrator is appointed by a resolution of the board of the company. That coincides with what Thomas said. And this is interesting. They say the company is or will become insolvent, but there is a chance that a deal can be done with creditors to buy their support, to buy the support for the proposal. So it is said this is a deed of company arrangement. Well, that's something in common with our system, right? What do you say?
Yes, you have the síndico.
Yes, and
Bien.
so the síndico will be the administrator,
Yes.
and el acuerdo,
Homologan el acuerdo en el concurso.
De acreedores.
homologar el acuerdo con los acreedores.
I don't know. I don't
Don't
work
know
in
what-
that.
Okay,
What
but
area?
yes,
Me,
the
me
agreement
neither, but I
with the
have
creditors. Okay. So, and this agreement is called the Deed of Company Arrangement, or DOCA. DOCA. It appears to be an animal, DOCA. To allow the company to continue. Once appointed, the administrator must immediately prepare a report containing recommendations. And so the administrator functions as the síndico, because the síndico has to prepare some reports
Yes.
too, you know?
Yes.
Administrators are required to be registered liquidators. So you have to be a liquidator in order to become an administrator. And by virtue of their appointment, have broad powers to deal with company property. The appointment of an administrator freezes any legal proceedings. The same happens with us. Freezes any legal proceedings on foot or anticipated. I love it. On foot or anticipated against the company. And control of the company is given entirely to the administrator. Directors of the company are prohibited from acting in their capacity. So the same happens in Argentina. They have some prohibition, remember? They cannot go out of the country. They cannot sell or buy things with the money of the company. So it says directors of the company are prohibited from acting. So remember this expression, prohibited from acting in their capacity as directors for the duration of the administration, at least until the DOCA. What was the DOCA, remember? What does DOCA stands for? DOCA?
deed of company arrangement.
Excellent. Deed of company arrangement.
Deed
Okay.
company arrangement.
Yes. Deed, remember the deed is like a escritura. Es un acta. A
Yes.
deed.
Yes.
A formal acta. Okay. Well, now we go to our listening activity. Do you have at hand the instructions? The instructions are as follows. These instructions, and they are on the WhatsApp group. Have you got them?
Yes.
A minute. I don't have it.
Do you have them? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. in 4 minutes. This one. So, first of all, I will try it for you. You have to tell me if you can listen to it.
About bankruptcy law and some things you don't need to know in 4 minutes.
Yes,
Did you listen? Excellent. So
Yes.
I'm going to mute myself.
yes.
Another thing, we should read the assignment first. The assignment says, Andrea, can you read it?
Yes.
Okay.
Listen activity.
Yes, the first one, bankruptcy,
Okay.
bankruptcy activity.
The idea of bankruptcy has been around since the time of the number 2. The
Yes.
U.S. Constitution says that the Congress has power to pass regarding.
Remember, Andrea
Says.
Says.
Yes.
Says.
Says.
Okay.
Modern
one?
bankruptcy laws were passing in USA's in
Okay.
up to into the U.S. had debt. Number 5, there are 2 types of bankruptcies. 4 and number 6, liquidation is under chapter of the bankruptcy code. And number 7, the bankruptcy court appoints to take up your to pay back for.
Okay. So now I go to the short video.
So hold on to your hat. Hi, and welcome to Legal Briefs. Today, true to our name, Legal Briefs, we are going to tell you everything you need to know about bankruptcy law and some things you don't need to know in 4 minutes. So hold on to your hat. The idea of bankruptcy has been around since the days of the Old Testament and the tradition of the Jubilee, in Hebrew pronounced, in which slaves were freed and debts forgiven every 7 years. This is an ancient counterpart to the modern tradition of the purge, in which all crimes are legal for 12 hours.
Announcing the commencement of the first purge, and all crime, including murder, will be legal for 12 hours.
Oh, that's just the movie? Darn it, I was making plans. Anyways, going back to the founding of our country, the US Constitution says that Congress has power to pass laws regarding bankruptcy, but the truth is that Congress didn't really get around to it until 1898, when modern bankruptcy laws were passed. It only took them 120 some years. It's not too bad. In fact, up until the Civil War, not only did we not have modern bankruptcy laws, but we still had debtor prisons where you were jailed if you went behind on a loan. If that sounds like a crazy idea, remember, we still jail people for monetary obligations like court costs and non-payment of child support, so don't judge your ancestors too harshly. There are essentially 2 types of bankruptcies for both individuals and companies, liquidations and reorganizations. The liquidations are both under Chapter 7 of the Bankruptcy Code. I just had a thought. The Jubilee was every 7 years. God rested on the 7th day. Chapter 7 of the Bankruptcy Code. Anyways, in a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, the debtor discharges all debts except for child support payments and taxes. Remember, you never escape the tax man. The bankruptcy court appoints a trustee to take a look at your assets and to take them to pay back your creditors. The Chapter 7 debtor is only allowed to keep a certain amount of stuff called exempt property. Any property that is not exempt is sold to pay back creditors. No, you cannot keep your Mercedes and boat unless you have a very creative lawyer. If you find yourself thinking about a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, you are not alone.
I declare bankruptcy!
In fact, many business people are risk takers, and famous and rich business people have found themselves utilizing the bankruptcy laws. The one and only Walt Disney filed back in 1921, giving himself breathing room to create Mickey Mouse in 1928 and to make Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in 1937. 7 dwarves. 7 again. Gold medalist and heavyweight champion George Foreman made millions boxing, yet still found himself in bankruptcy protection in 1983, yet was able to fight his way out, which gave him space to become the oldest heavyweight champion ever at the age of 45, and much more importantly, create the George Foreman grill. He sold 100 million of those grills, and I'll tell you what, that is some heavyweight marketing genius right there. The other type of bankruptcy is a reorganization of debt, which is under Chapter 13 for an individual and Chapter 11 for a business. For individuals, a Chapter 13 entails making monthly payments for 3 or 5 years based upon how much money you make and what your expenses are. One of the cool things about a Chapter 13 bankruptcy is that you can possibly strip second and even third mortgages from your home. The legal term is stripping the lien. I, of course, then called it the Magic Mike maneuver. Can I say that? Can you use that? I mean, it was a rated R movie. You may have heard that President Trump is very proud of his bankruptcies, and it's true that President Trump's companies have been to bankruptcy court at least 4 times. In a Chapter 11 bankruptcy, the judge will look at the numbers and reduce the business amount of debt to a figure which will allow the business to continue operating while paying back a certain amount of its debt. I think we'll be seeing a lot more of Chapter 11 bankruptcies in the next 2 years, unfortunately. And there you have it. Jubilee, debtor prisons, Chapter 7, no Mercedes, the George Foreman Grill, Chapter 13, Magic Mike, Chapter 11, and President Trump. And now you know. Was that under 4 minutes?
I want to get rid of all the
Can we listen again?
Yes, we will. Yes, yes.
It's very fast.
I will put it on until the part where we have instructions.
Okay.
They
Yes.
to follow on. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Sorry for the delay.
Legal Briefs. Today, true to our name, Legal Briefs, we are going to tell you everything you need to know about bankruptcy law and some things you don't need to know in 4 minutes. So hold on to your hat. The idea of bankruptcy has been around since the days of the Old Testament and the tradition of the Jubilee, in Hebrew pronounced, in which slaves were freed and debts forgiven every 7 years. This is an ancient counterpart to the modern tradition of the purge, in which all crimes are legal for 12 hours.
Announcing the commencement of the first purge, and all crime, including murder, will be legal for 12 hours.
Oh, that's just a movie? Darn it, I was making plans. Anyways, going back to the founding of our country, the US Constitution says that Congress has power to pass laws regarding bankruptcy, but the truth is that Congress didn't really get around to it until 1898, when modern bankruptcy laws were passed. It only took them 120 some years. It's not too bad. In fact, up until the Civil War, not only did we not have modern bankruptcy laws, but we still had debtor prisons where you were jailed if you went behind on a loan. If that sounds like a crazy idea, remember, we still jail people for monetary obligations like court costs and non-payment of child support, so don't judge your ancestors too harshly. There are essentially 2 types of bankruptcies for both individuals and companies, liquidations and reorganizations. The liquidations are both under Chapter 7 of the Bankruptcy Code. I just had a thought. The Jubilee was every 7 years. God rested on the 7th day. Chapter 7 of the Bankruptcy Code. Anyways, in a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, the debtor discharges all debts except for child support payments and taxes. Remember, you never escape the tax man. The bankruptcy court appoints a trustee to take a look at your assets and to take them to pay back your creditors. The Chapter 7 debtor is only allowed to keep a certain amount of stuff called exempt property. Any property
Okay, up to that point. Sorry, she must go. Okay, Andrea, we will miss you.
Bye, Andrea.
You enjoyed it.
Bye.
Thank you, Andrea.
Bye, Andrea.
Bye.
Chau, chau, chau.
Chao, Andrea, después te paso
Chao.
ese que te digo de no digas mucho, very, porque es
Bueno.
muy interesante para tu actividad como
Buenísimo.
docente.
Sí, me encanta.
Ok, dale.
Vale, gracias. Chau, chau.
Thank you. Okay, so let's read the assignment. The idea of bankruptcy has been around since the time of the
Old Testament.
Old
The
Testament or
Old
the
Testament.
Ancient Testament, he says. Probably, I don't
No,
remember.
I don't know.
Old Testament is good.
Old. I heard old, yes.
Testament. Yes, so the US Constitution says that the Congress has power to pass, because
Laws?
Law.
yes, he says laws. That's funny because I have been teaching all the time that you shouldn't say laws, you should
There
say
is not.
acts, but he says laws, so he's a native,
Yes.
so it's laws. So to pass laws regarding
Bankruptcy.
bankruptcy. Okay, and modern bankruptcy laws were passed in the USA in
I think 1998, but I'm not sure.
Yes.
and you, Griselda?
I'm not sure. 1998, but I'm not sure it was 90. I heard 19 and 8.
Yes, me too.
And what about 1898? Perhaps
Yeah, maybe could it be?
1898. Okay, I think so.
Okay.
So he says up into the
18.
Civil War.
No, sorry.
because
No,
he refers to a type of
Yes,
war.
yes, Civil War.
The
Civil
war.
War.
Up into the
Civil
Civil War, US had debtor. In fact, he says debtor. US had debtor.
I didn't hear that.
I think it's prison. The debtor prison. Okay, there are two types of bankruptcies for
Individuals and
Both
companies.
individuals
excellent
and companies.
individuals
Yes.
and companies. And the sixth one, liquidation, is under chapter
7.
7.
Chapter 7 of the Bankruptcy Code. So that remember that this is related to the code, bankruptcy code in the USA, not in the British
Yes.
system. The bankruptcy court appoints a
Trustee.
A trustee.
You say a trustee, and you,
Yes.
Griselda, you say a trustee too. Okay, a trustee. So
Yes.
trustee in this case would be the liquidator, because he says to take up your
Assets.
to pay back to take up your assets and pay back
I don't. Maria, we are.
to pay back the
we heard
creditors.
same.
Hablaba rápido, miércoles.
Bueno,
Okay.
pero fue. It was only the phone and the last one. We can hear.
Excelente, excelente, Griselda. Y además,
Yes.
bueno, para ejercitar el oído. Igual estuve hablando con, vieron que estuve hablando mucho con las chicas de los otros centros TOEFL, y ellas consideran que los audios de TOEFL son muy fáciles, y que, bueno, que son muy fáciles. Dice, ella misma me decía, no, son muy fáciles. Es más, dice que posiblemente después los eliminen, y entonces ella le criticó eso, ella habló con ellos, y le criticó eso, y entonces ellos le dijeron que hacer los audios a ellos les cuesta mucho. Mirá vos, que hacer los audios les cuesta mucho porque tienen que contratar actores que los hagan y qué sé yo, y que después de todo los tienen que hacer en ese nivel tan fácil. O sea, ahí me volvió a decir que es fácil, que hablan lento, la verdad que son lentos los audios. Mucho más lento que esto es rápido.
Sí.
Lo otro es como para ejercitar.
Pasa que uno está acostumbrado, en mi caso, que veo mucho cine en inglés, entonces como que estás
Televisión.
acostumbrado con las canciones y todo a escuchar. Quizás después cuesta pasarlo cuando hablas, pero yo entiendo bien.
Claro, a mí me
Sobre todo
cuesta escribirlo. Me
Y
cuesta
detalles también.
Claro.
Y
Sí.
cuando se te piden un detalle, ahí es el problema.
las fechas y eso es como que no
Sí.
sé si dijo lo que estoy pensando.
Bueno, ahora
Claro,
entonces,
sí, ahí yo también tuve dudas.
Ok. Bueno, pero ¿les interesó? ¿Les pareció bien?
Sí, sí, estuvo bueno.
Sí, estuvo bueno.
Well, our next activity is out of legal English, is related to common English, you know? And
Okay.
let's see. So, saying Barry, you know that I have been listening to this person. For many times I have been listening to him. There in Colcalan, I'm so alone, and every morning I put on one of these videos and I listen to him. He is my company now, and besides, it helps keeping my English alive. Let's say, and I think that he's quite a teacher. He's very. He wants you to know, to get to learn. That's why I love him. I don't know why, but he explains every topic very slowly and very in a teachable way. Let's say. So okay, shall we go with this activity? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I will mute myself. The instruction here is you have to take notes and take notes on the many different ways you can replace the term very. He says, don't say very, you should say da 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 da. Many different ways to say very. Don't say very. Very is very common, very dull, very, let's say, stupid way to say very. And there are more
Very
intelligent
difficult,
ways.
like Tevez.
Not very difficult. So you should learn other ways to say very, because you are going to sound better in English, more native-like, you know. So I mean myself, you should take notes on the different expressions to replace very.
Very useful, yeah. Very, very nice, yeah. Very good. Not bad, but how many times did I say very? And how can we improve this repetitive answer? Come with me and find out. Hi, my name is Keith and I run the website The Keith Speaking Academy and the YouTube channel English Speaking Success. Now, many students have a good pool of adjectives to describe things, right? Like interesting, useful, engaging, amazing. But they often have far fewer adverbs. Oh, it's very interesting. Oh, it's very useful. It's really engaging. It's really amazing, right? Now, you may know other adverbs like totally, completely, awfully, but are you sure which ones go together with different adjectives? Do you know the correct collocation? Well, you're about to find out. So, show you 18 synonyms for very, so you can show off your vocabulary in IELTS speaking test. Now, as a bonus today, I'm going to give you at the end of this video an extra practice activity you can do after the video on a mobile app. How nice is that? And the app is Elsa Speak, and this activity will help you learn the collocations and also improve your pronunciation. Elsa Speak is a unique English learning app that pinpoints your mistakes in pronunciation with cutting-edge technology, artificial intelligence technology, and then gives you feedback so you can improve and correct your pronunciation mistakes. Check it out.
Elementary.
Elementary. And there's the feedback. You get scored actually not only on pronunciation, but also on fluency and intonation compared to a native speaker. And then you can see how to get even better. For me, it's the best pronunciation app out there. I love it because of its great technology, but also because of the high quality teaching that it has. I'm going to tell you more about Elsa later, and that bonus activity so you can start practicing all of the language in today's video. But for now, let's begin with some very interesting stuff. So let's have a look first at describing things. Sometimes people may ask you, how was that film? How was the book? What did you think of that lesson? And you may want to say, well, it was very interesting, very useful, or very good. Let's look at some different collocations we can use instead of very.
Con Grammarly puedes escribir en inglés rápido y confiadamente. Controla tus correcciones.
You know, that book I read was extremely interesting. I thought it was an incredibly interesting book. The book you recommended was tremendously useful. I found it to be a particularly useful book because it was full of great ideas and practical tips. Yeah, that film was dead good. I thought that film was extremely good. Now, with good, there are very, very few adverb collocations. You've got dead, extremely, very, really. So with good, you may actually want to use an adjective, an intensified adjective, if you like. Things like, that film was amazing, terrific, splendid, awesome, outstanding, things like that. Great, let's move on. Okay, we've talked about things. Let's talk about describing people next, right? So you may want to describe, I don't know, a family member? A family member? We don't say that in English. A member of your family. That's right. You may want to describe a member of your family, a friend, a colleague, a boss, anybody, right? And if you want to say maybe they're very nice, they're very friendly, they're very intelligent, let's look at some other synonyms for very here. Yeah, my boss, she's a perfectly nice woman. Yeah, I think my new boss is a thoroughly nice man. We've just moved into a new flat and the new neighbour is exceptionally friendly. I think my new neighbour is a genuinely friendly person. Yeah, my teacher. Oh, I think he's highly intelligent. Can I say that? Yes, I think my English teacher is remarkably intelligent. Okay, a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but there you go. Great, we've talked about people. Let's move on. Okay, so we've looked at describing things, describing people. What about describing activities, right? We often need to do this in IELTS speaking. Maybe you need to describe a concert or a party or even a meeting. You may want to say it's very boring, very slow, very bad. Let's find some exciting synonyms for very here. Well, I went to a party last week and to be honest, it was mind-numbingly boring. I went to a party with my friend, but it was just downright boring. There was nothing to do, no music, no dancing. Last week, we had a meeting with my boss and some colleagues, and to be honest, it was just painfully slow. You know what? I can't believe the meetings with Mr. Smith. They are frustratingly slow. I thought Lady Gaga's last concert was extremely bad. Oh dear, I might upset a few people there. If you're a Lady Gaga fan, no offense meant. I thought the concert was really bad. Now, bad, similarly to good, doesn't have a lot of collocates, right? You've got extremely, really, very. So again, With bad, you may want to use an adjective that intensifies it, being extremely bad. Possibly you could say the concert or the party or the meeting was appalling. It was an awful meeting. What a dreadful concert. That was a terrible party. That was an agonizing meeting. Things like that. Great. Let's move on. So there you have 18, at least 18 synonyms for the word very with some beautiful collocations. Now, as I mentioned, the bonus, how can you start practicing them? I'm going to show you right now using the ELSA app how you can start practicing all of these synonyms and collocations. First of all, download the app in the link below and then we can get started. I think one of the great things about ELSA Speaking app is not only does it help your pronunciation and intonation, but it also, as you're practicing, helps you build up a really wide range of vocabulary, right? Including collocations, which I think are going to be tremendously useful for you. So let me show you how the app works, and especially the study set, which is what I've made for you. Okay, so we've got here, you've got different topics in the app. For example, on the lifestyle category, we've got topics on travel, transportation, culture. But I want to show you here the study sets, right? So let's have a look. First of all, we can explore study sets by topic.
Okay. Did you take notes as regards
Yes.
many different ways to say very?
Yes.
The thing is that the ELSA app, you can download it for free and you can use it for free too. There's a second situation, which is Prime, but you can use the ELSA app for free for different exercises that are for free. You know,
Okay.
he wants you to pay,
Okay.
but you may use it every night with 1, 2, or 3 exercises, and they are for free. Well, that said, we may move on to the very activity. You say, what are the different ways to say very? And you may say one way and one phrase, one sentence with very. Maria?
One sentence. I
Yes.
just wrote the words.
Okay,
Mhm.
tell us.
I wrote totally,
Okay.
completely, extremely, incredibly.
Well, but tell me one sentence with, for instance,
No.
totally. Totally what? Instead of very.
I don't know.
Well, think of one, because you have to apply it in order to get it, to grasp it.
You didn't tell that that part.
I want you now
Write
to
down,
invent something. Well, Griselda, tell me the next one. The next one, please, Griselda.
About people, because I wrote how was extremely,
Well,
incredibly,
for instance, about
tremendously,
people.
perfectly,
Okay, perfectly,
genuinely, remarkable,
genuinely, for instance, genuinely friendly
genuinely.
person, he says. Person.
Yes, he says a remarkable professor.
Remarkably intelligent. Remarkably intelligent. Can you construct a sentence with remarkably intelligent?
The professor was remarkably intelligent.
Intelligent.
Adela is
No, the professor is remarkably intelligent.
She is the most.
Well,
I was distracted because it is a fire near here. My husband told me, I seen on the TV, and I heard all the time. It's a very big one, and it's near here. Yes, I have the fire, the ambulances, and all the family writing in the WhatsApp.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know
hear
what's
that.
happening,
That's
but
bad.
it's
Extremely
near
bad.
my house.
Let's see. Oh,
Oh.
terrible.
Yeah.
Well, you said something, Maria.
Oh,
It is extremely what?
extremely bad.
Extremely bad. Okay. Any
About
other
the
way to say
fire,
very?
that is,
Yes. It says
the fire is awful.
it's awfully. It's awful. Yes,
Awfully
it's
bad.
awful. It's very
Awfully
bad.
bad.
Very bad is awful. Awfully bad. Okay. Okay. Any other
Extremely
expression,
bad.
Maria?
I like
Extremely bad.
that good. I liked it that good.
That good. Yes, the thing is that that good.
Yes.
There were 3 expressions with good. Did you take notes? 3 expressions.
No,
That
I
good
write
was
that
one.
good because
Really good.
Rarely good.
Really good.
Rarely good.
Perfectly could be.
And exceptionally good.
Sorry.
Exceptionally good.
Exceptionally, yes, I wrote
That
it.
good and rarely good.
Rarely good.
The thing is that the strange thing is that they say deadly good, and dead is to be dead. And it's deadly good. Deadly good.
No, he says that good.
Dead good. Yes,
Dead
dead
good,
good.
yes.
You're right. Dead good. Well, Maria, construct a sentence with dead good, please.
My day was that good.
Okay, because you cashed some money, of course.
No, but
No.
we can say it.
Okay. Well, what about the ways to define persons?
I say
didn't-
for
no las distinguí.
Okay, Griselda?
perfectly,
Maybe genuinely.
perfectly.
Perfectly.
No sé
He
cómo
says,
pronunciarla.
perfectly nice. He says, perfectly nice
Yes.
human.
Throughoutly or
Thoroughly, la escribí, no sé cómo se pronuncia.
Thoroughly. Yes,
What
it's
is
terrible,
that?
that word. Exceptionally friendly.
What is throughoutly?
Thoroughly is on average, en general. Thoroughly nice. Aquí says thoroughly nice man. Porque vean que es como un adjetivo, como un adverbio.
Adverbio.
Perfectly nice woman. Entonces va el adjetivo primero, perdón, el adverbio primero, después el adjetivo
Y el
después
adjetivo.
el sustantivo. Entonces they say perfectly nice woman, thoroughly nice man, and exceptionally friendly man or young person. Exceptionally friendly. For instance, Maria, can you describe the person who works in the office above your department? Is with exceptionally friendly, for instance.
The
What's the
person who what? Sorry.
Who watches your apartment? Your building.
The security person?
Yes, is.
The security person is exceptionally lazy.
Okay. Exceptionally lazy, not friendly.
No.
Okay.
Pensé que lo ibas a
surprise.
alargar.
No.
Griselda, can you construct anything with the other ways to describe persons? What are the other ways? Three other ways.
Maria was genuinely true. porque dijo la verdad,
Okay,
así como le salió.
truthful.
Okay.
Truthful would be the adjective.
The
Genuinely,
adjective.
remember this,
The
genuinely,
adverb.
friendly, genuinely, truthful, yes. And the other one with highly. Highly, he says, highly intelligent and remarkably intelligent. We have talked about that. Okay, another one, activities. He says,
Yes.
as regards a boring activity. What does he say? A boring activity.
Mind-numbingly, I don't
Painfully.
know.
Numbingly boring.
Boring.
And that's tongue twister.
Yes.
Another
Yes.
boring.
And he says
Downright.
downright, but I don't know what that means.
Boring too.
Downright. I think it's like a depression. Depresiva.
And he
Painfully
says
slow.
painfully.
I like it very much.
Which one? Frustratingly. Which one?
Painfully
You say?
slow. It's painfully slow. Es como que te
The
morís.
meeting. He says the meeting was painfully
It was
slow.
Slow. Griselda, can you describe a hearing with downright boring?
The hearing was downright boring, but
downright boring. Downright boring. Yes.
Boring.
Well, then he says extremely bad and really bad. That are quite common.
Yes.
Yes. And frustratingly slow. Painfully slow and frustratingly slow. Well,
Yes.
and then he refers to some adjectives to replace very. He says, really,
appealing,
appalling.
Sorry.
Appalling.
And what that means?
Appalling es horriblemente, como que muy deprimente. So it's an appalling hearing, an appalling lesson, algo muy aburrido, muy deprimente, muy que te tira abajo, appalling. And what else?
Awful.
Awful.
Agonizing.
Awful. He says awful meeting, he says. Agonizing meeting. So, Maria, tell me something related to an agonizing meeting.
I don't know. My meeting with my, I don't know, my client was agonizing.
Agonizing.
Was agonizing. Yes.
Or was an agonizing meeting.
Yes.
O puedes decir awfully agonizing meeting, porque podemos juntar awful con agonizing, pero le tenés que poner awfully agonizing meeting. Ahí es como ya
mucho.
Muy mucho. Bueno, está. Hemos terminado. Me encanta este tipo, tiene 1500 videos.
Además es muy actor.
Sí, él es realmente. Y él trata de enseñar para un examen que se llama IELTS, que ya voy a investigar en qué consiste, a ver si, pero la verdad que estoy a full ya. Pero todas las mañanitas me pongo uno de estos videitos y lo escucho para mantener el inglés, ¿no?
Está bueno.
Y todos los días tiene algo distinto, tiene sobre la salud, sobre esto, sobre el tema del Berry, sobre cómo contestar a una entrevista, así que está muy bueno el tipo. Bueno, y sobre ese de Elsa Speaking, fíjense, bájenla, yo todas las noches me hago 2 o 3 ejercicios y siempre llega un punto donde dice, bueno, ya si quieres seguir tienes que pagar, y ahí paro. Y al día siguiente me voy a poner 2 o 3 ejercicios gratis. Así que todos los días me hago 2 o 3 y listo, son gratis. Están buenísimos. Y el Elsa Speaking te hace hablar, vos te grabás y te dice en qué está mal lo que pusiste y te lo hace repetir para que lo digas bien. A veces lo tengo que repetir.
Yo me había bajado uno parecido. Hay varios, pero...
Hay varios.
No me acuerdo cómo se llamaban, sí.
Está muy bueno que existe esto. Es propio de este momento de globalización.